This video provides easy-to-follow instructions for you to create this spinner using Onshape. Click below in the video description. Here you will find links to all of the resources you need to complete this project. First, there is a link for a PDF instruction sheet. Click this link and open the project drawings and specifications in a new browser tab. Next, if you don't have an Onshape account, use one of these links to create a free account at the Onshape website. Last, there are links for each of the segments of this video. The video instruction is organized into 5 segments. In Segment 1, you will read the engineering drawings. Segment 2 will establish the design intent. In Segment 3, you will create the part model using Onshape. Next, you will check the accuracy of your model by checking its mass properties. Last, you will check the design intent by making changes to the model to see if it will update correctly. Now you are ready to begin the project. In this segment, we'll read the engineering drawing for this spinner. Let's start by identifying the views provided in the drawings. First, there is an isometric view showing the hub as a 3-dimensional pictorial. Next, 2 orthographic views. On the lower left, a front view. Projected directly above the front view is a top view. When creating the parametric model, we need to identify the basic shapes and included features. The top view shows the part as a circular pattern with features concentric to the center. Located at the center is a circle. Patterned evenly about the center are 3 sets of concentric circles. The outer circles are joined by tangent arcs. The hidden lines in the front view show all of the holes extending through the body. It also shows that the spinner has a uniform thickness, and the outside edges are fully rounded. Next, we'll look at the dimensions and notes. First, the dimensions are in millimeters. The diameter of the small circles are all 22 millimeters. The outer circles have a diameter of 32 millimeters. The centers of the outer circles are coincident to a center line circle with a diameter of 60 millimeters. The outer tangent arcs have a radius of 20 millimeters. The thickness is 7 millimeters. The fillet on the outside edge has a radius of 3.5 millimeters. The material is ABS plastic. The mass is measured in grams. Next, let's establish our design intent. To start, we need to identify any features that might be changed or revised during the design process. The center bearing hole is sized at 22 millimeters to fit a standard ball bearing. The outer holes are sized the same so that they can also be fitted with bearings to add weight and momentum for spinning. We might need to use a different size bearing, so this diameter might need to be changed by a few millimeters. This means that all of the bearing holes would then have to be changed. If the bearing hole size changes on these outer holes, then the concentric circles would need to change by the same amount. Other features should remain unchanged, including the outer arc radius, the thickness, and the outside fillet radius. So we should be able to adjust the size of the bearing holes. And the other features will update without errors. Before we model the part in Onshape, let's preview the steps we will use in the modeling process. First, from the drawing, we will identify the profile we will use for the base sketch. In this project, the top view defines most of the elements of the design, so we will use it for the base sketch. Because this part is concentric to the center, we will use the origin at the center of the sketch. So sketch 1 is placed on the top sketch plane and defines the center hole and one set of the pattern elements. Extrude 1 will add the thickness. Circular pattern 1 will duplicate and add the additional features around the outside. Fillet 1 will add the arcs to the outside. Fillet 2 will round over the outside edge. Now let's get started modeling the spinner. I have started a new Onshape document and named it Spinner. The workspace units are set to millimeters and the mass is set to grams. Start a new sketch and click on the top sketch plane. Use N on the keyboard to view normal and P to turn off the planes. I will start by sketching a center point circles concentric to the origin. Set the diameter at 22 millimeters. This is the size of the bearing hole. Create another larger concentric circle. This diameter is 32, but I want to set its size to change if the inner circle changes. To do this, use the dimension tool and set the distance between the inner circle and outer circle at 5 millimeters. Now, if I change the diameter of the inner circle, the outer circle will automatically update by the same amount. The dimension of the inner circle now drives the diameter of the outer circle. Next, use a construction line to set the distance between the origin and the location of one of the pattern features. Make sure the line is vertical. Set the length to 30 millimeters. Now draw another set of concentric circles coincident to the end of this line. To drive the diameter of these circles with the existing set, use an equal constraint from the constraint menu and click first on the dimension circle and then the outer circle to set it equal. Now if I change this diameter of the center bearing circle, it drives all the circles. This will satisfy my design intent. Now we need some single lines. The line should start coincident to this circle and horizontal to the center. I see both icons, so click to start the line. The line should end at the same point on the circle. If you click and hold the mouse button down, then drag to the line's ending point and let up on the mouse, it draws a single line. This is the fast way to draw separate line segments without having to start and stop the line tool. All the lines have turned black and the sketch is finished. Use the green check to accept. Now we can extrude the regions of the sketch to create the base feature. Click on the Extrude tool on the feature toolbar. Set the depth to 7 millimeters. Click on the regions of the sketch that will be included in the base feature. If you accidentally click on a region you don't want included, click on it again to deselect it. This looks correct, so use the green check to accept the part. Next, we can use a circular pattern to duplicate the base part about the center. From the feature toolbar, choose Circular Pattern. This will be a part pattern. For the entities to pattern, click on Part 1 in the parts list. For the axis of the pattern, click on the edge of the bearing hole at the center. For the instance count, enter 3. I can see the parts list showing 3 parts, so I need to click on Add to make sure they are merged into one part. This looks correct. Use the green check to accept. Now we can use the fillet feature to add the arc on the outside edges. From the feature toolbar, choose Fillet. This will be Edge Fillet. Set the radius to 20 millimeters. Click one of the edges at an outside intersections. This looks correct. Use the green check to accept. We can use the fillet again to round over the outside edges. Again, click on Fillet from the toolbar. This time click on Full Round as the fillet type. This rounds the surface between 2 faces, so we have to choose the faces. Click on the top face and then the bottom face. Last, click on the face of the edge. With tangent propagation turned on, it will find all tangent faces and create half-round edges. This looks correct. Use the green check to accept. The spinner is now complete. In this segment, we'll check the accuracy by checking its mass properties. To check the model, the mass units should be set to grams and the material set to ABS. If the size and shape of your model was completed accurately, the mass should be 13.976 grams. Let's look at this process step by step. First, open the document that contains the model of the spinner. Next, check the workspace units and make sure that mass was set to grams. Next, set the material to ABS. Go to the part in the parts list. Right-click and choose Assign Material. In this case, we're searching for ABS. Click to select it. Next, go down to the lower right corner and click on the Display Mass Properties button. When the dialog box opens, click on the part, and the display shows a mass of 13.976 grams. If this was your result, then your part is accurate and matches the specifications. If not, we can troubleshoot to locate the sketch or feature that has an error. First, locate the rollback bar in the feature list. Move the rollback bar up to just below Extrude 1. The mass now reads 7.164 grams. If you have an error here, examine Sketch 1. Now move the rollback bar down to below Circular Pattern 1. The mass is now 14.962 grams. Next, move the rollback bar down to below Fillet 1. The mass is now 15.437 grams. Move the bar to the end. Again, the mass should be 13.976 grams. If your amount still doesn't match, check Fillet 2 and make corrections. Your part should be accurate and meet the drawing specifications. In this segment, we will make some revisions to the design and check if our design intent has been applied correctly. We will start by reading the revision drawings to identify the features that will be changed. The drawings show the center bearing hole has changed to 24 millimeters. Also, the outer diameter has changed to 34 millimeters. In the design, the outer holes are set to receive the same size bearings for added weight. In our model, we have set constraints so that the size of the center bearing hole drives the size of all the bearing holes and the outer diameters. To make the revisions, open the spinner document. Open Sketch 1 and change the center hole diameter to 24 millimeters. Use the measure tool to check the size of the outer bearing hole. Yes, it has updated to 24 millimeters. Check the outer diameter. It should be 34 millimeters. The distance between the center and outer bearing holes remains at 30 millimeters. Click the final button to see the update. This looks correct without any errors in the feature list. Check the accuracy of the revised part by viewing its mass properties. The new mass should be 14.096 grams. If your part updated correctly, the model has met the design intent and it was revised to receive a larger size bearing. If your part didn't update correctly, check constraints used in Sketch 1. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, look for more projects at cadvideotutor.com. Also, hit the like or subscribe button. If you have a question, leave a comment.